Hello, Dr. Dave Gatros here for COP 3014, and we're going to talk a little bit more about arrays. In fact, we're actually going to do several videos about arrays. They're that important and they're that complex. It also seems to cause the students a little bit of a problem when they're first learning them. It's a new concept. What I'm going to do here is a very short demonstration about some features you're going to use probably in assignment 3, and it's something we saw in assignment 1, referencing months. Now let me go ahead and create a constant array, and before I do that I'm going to put the string library up there, and then we're going to cover strings a little bit later on, but right now we're just going to say it's a constant to string months, and there are 13 of them. Okay. Now this is going to seem, well, there's 12 months, and you're correct, there are 12 months, but the months are referenced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. As we recall from our previous video, C and C++ start referencing an array at 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to preload the month's names, but we're going to leave 0 empty. Why? Well, it's because it's not used. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to fill this out, and then we'll take a look at it when I get done. We won't take up precious video time watching me. Well, here we have it. We have our constant string, strings being a C++ feature. I spelled January wrong, but other than that, it looks okay. Where we are going to reference our months. Now, let's say that I wanted to print out the month of January. All right. Well, what I do is I just put right here, I say months, and then I put subscript of 1. All right. And it will go up to the 1 subscript, which is 1 past the first one. This is 0, that's 1, and we'll pick up month and it will print that out. Let's build that. Build solution. Start without debugging. January. Very good. All right. Now then, let's say that I want to associate the number of days in a month with that month itself. It's another array. Now, I'm going to put it down in my int main, and the reason I'm going to put it down here, I put it where it's going to be used, is because this one's not a constant. And the reason it's not a constant is because February changes. Well, let me go ahead and start typing the array out, and I'll show you what I mean. It's an integer. Whoops, it's an integer. We'll call it days in months. And again, there are 13 of them. Again, we don't use the 0, but we have to account for it. We can't start our subscripts at 1. We can in other languages, but not in C and C++. And we're going to initialize those, and we're going to give them initial values of, January is 31, but we skipped that one, so let's see, that's not 0 and 31, and February has 28. Okay. March has 31. April has 30. May has 31. I'm cheating. I'm looking at a sheet here. 30. July has 31. August also has 31. September has 30. October has 31. November has 30. And December has 31. Okay, so there they are. And you'll see I got a little error right there. It should be left curly brackets. That is our initialization vector, and then semicolon. So now the reason is if let's say that I decide that leap year, it's a leap year. All right. Well, if it's a leap year, then what I've got to do is I have got to change February. Okay, how do I do that? Well, since it's not a constant array, what I can do is I can access the second month, and I can change it to 29. How do I do that? Well, that code is very either days in months 2 is equal to 29. Okay. Now, if I were actually say, hey, month 2 has, and I'll put out the days and months 2 days. Okay. And I got to put out my. And while I'm typing this, you can see that there's lots of opportunities to make little mistakes here. I correct them almost naturally. I've been doing this a long time, and I kind of see them ahead of time, and I know what mistakes I made. But that takes a lot of experience. It takes a lot of practice. So that's why I encourage all of you to actually write a lot of code. Play with this code. Write a little bit every day. You get much, much better at it. File. Save this. It looks all green. We will build it. Build solution. Looks good. Debug. Or without debugging, it says February has 29 days. Press any key to continue. And you'll see what we did is we changed the 28 right here. We changed that to a 29. This is 0, that's 1, that's 2. Very, very nice way of actually representing the calendar. What you can do is you can store the month as a number, and then using that number, that same number, you can get at the word of the month itself, in other words, the mnemonic of it. And then you can get at the number of days that are in that month. It's a very, very handy feature that we use in assignment number 3 that we're going to talk about later on. In the next video I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple of videos on strings, C++ strings, because we're going to be using those from here on out. They're going to be very important. And just as an introductory to that topic, in C, if we want to represent more than one character, we have to use character arrays, and they're a little clumsy. There's lots of housekeeping you have to do with character arrays. Strings makes it much, much easier, but there are some things you have to keep in mind. All right, well, very good. We'll play with this code, write a little bit. Again, we're going to be using it in subsequent assignments. No need to reinvent the wheel. If you use this particular code, please reference that you got it from these videos. It's plagiarism if you don't. All right, very good. Well, good luck, and on to the next topic.